What is up guys, Zanif Tech is here, and today I got myself a smart Wi-Fi light switch that works with Amazon Alexa and Google Assistant. Let's get into the review. Here's the packaging of the actual device. It's pretty straightforward and simple, nothing really that classy, but inside you do get some few goodies. Here you have the actual light switch that looks like any other normal up-to-date light switch, besides a little panel on the front which is pressure sensitive, which is a pretty cool feature and makes it look a lot better than your normal light switch. Inside the box, you also do get this nice snap-on faceplate that doesn't require any screws on itself. The screws go on the actual device, and then the faceplate goes on top, so you never see the screws at all. You do get these nice wire covers or wire nuts, and then the two screws that you screw onto the actual box. Inside, you also get these two nice adapters if your cable's not long enough to the wall. Here's a closer look at the actual packaging and the device. As you can see, it's just little Ziploc bags, nothing that special, but the price point of this product is really nice, so I'm not really that into how it looks when it's packaged, especially at this price point, and it works perfectly fine. One of the features about this device is that it actually needs a neutral wire to work. So make sure you have a neutral wire running to your current light switch, the one that you were replacing, or else this product will not work. I wasn't so sure if this would work, but thankfully the builder of my home did include a neutral wire inside the actual box, so I was good to go on that part. The installation is pretty straightforward. You do have a little guide in the box that says it's pretty simple to install, but if you're uncertain about certain aspects of electricity, then make sure you get a qualified electrician to install it for you so it doesn't have any hiccups in the future. The front of the device actually has a Wi-Fi indicator that actually shows you if it's connected to Wi-Fi, and it blinks if it doesn't have a nice Wi-Fi connection, but it does have power. So it lets you know if your connection is good or not. Here's how you turn the device on and off. You just press the little power button on the front, and since the pressure is only on the power button, if you press anywhere around the power button, it will not activate the light switch, or even pressing the Wi-Fi icon does not as well. Holding the power button does put the device into setup mode, so that is how you initially pair it when you're going to install it for the very first time. If you ever need to remove the actual faceplate, then it just snaps off, but keep in mind it is held by screws on the bottom part and not on the top, so the little clips on the snap-on plate may get loose over time, so make sure you're taking it off slowly so you don't break it. Once you have the faceplate off, you'll see that it looks like your normal light switch with the two screws, and always make sure that your power is off at the breaker. That is always the first thing you need to do when installing or touching any part of this light switch on the back side. Get yourself a voltage meter like the one I'm showing in the video, just to verify that all the power is off. It may have a little static electricity coming to the box, but that is perfectly normal. Once you verify that there's no power coming to the box, then that's when you can start working on the actual switch, on removing your old one and installing the new one. I did already take my old one off because I did want to make this review after testing the product for about a week. So I'm just going to take off the current installed light switch and then show you the back part of it and show you exactly how it's supposed to look on your setup. It may differ based on the cables and everything that you have and what time point your house was made, but overall it's pretty much the same process for every single light switch out there. Keep in mind that when you're taking off these screws, that later you don't over tighten them because the actual rings around it is plastic. So if you over tighten it, you will break that plastic and the cover will be actually loose on this smart switch, and it won't look very nice when it's moving left to right every time you press it. So make sure you're extra gentle with this cover and you don't break those little circle rings on the actual screws. Here's the back side of the cover, and you can see the cables are all exposed. Make sure they're all trimmed down and nothing's excess when plugged into the device, and you should be good to go from there. And I did notice one thing, which I'll mention in just a second, about the actual light switch. Here's the actual back part so you can see a closer look how everything's installed. The hot, the ground, the neutral. Make sure you use the wire nuts to connect the old neutral to the bundle that's inside the box already, and you should be good from there. The light switch is a bit smaller than my old light switch, so if you've painted your house recently and you didn't take off the faceplates on the old light switches when painting, you might have a little bit of a gap around the sides and you might see your old paint color. So keep that in mind when installing this new light switch so you don't have any other annoyances in the future. Just keep in mind that I did warn you about that, so make sure you always paint around your light switches when you're repainting your house. Once everything's plugged into the light switch, you can grab your screwdriver and start screwing everything back in, being extra gentle with those screws so you don't mess up the plastic rivets. Once everything's back on, they can go back to your breaker and everything should be working perfectly fine after you switch it on. Hopefully that is. Otherwise, you'll be perfectly good to go unless you did get a defective light switch, which is probably very slim. So make sure your wiring is perfectly fine, and if the breaker doesn't kick in, then you did everything fine on the actual wiring part of the device. The setup process is fairly simple with a nice app that they've designed, and I'll be showing that nice app in a second so that you can see that you can actually install it on the phone and it guides you through the setup process like any other smart home device, and it's pretty straightforward. To set the light switch up for the very first time, the Wi-Fi indicator has to rapidly blink. If it's not blinking like I'm showing in the video, then you have to hold the power button for a couple of seconds until the light switch clicks, and once it clicks, it's going to start blinking the Wi-Fi signal. That means it's in pairing setup mode, so you should be good to go from there. Then you install the Smart Life app on your phone, either Android or iOS, and once it's installed, you'll set up a normal account if you don't already have one. Then once it's actually set up, it will ask you what type of device you would like to add. You can add various plugs, smart switches, humidifiers, so make sure you always select the smart switch for this scenario. And once you select that, it will ask for your Wi-Fi network. Keep in mind that you have to be on the 2.4 for the initial setup process, but later on you can go on the 5 GHz network if you have 2 different bands to actually control the device. Then you set up a name for it so you can control it with your voice. Once you have it finally paired to the Smart Life app, then you can see here on my screen that I have different various products of theirs, including some light switches and smart sockets. So once you have it paired, you can actually control the light switch from the app itself. There is a kind of a delay sometimes when powering it off and on, but it's not that big of a deal. Also from this app, you can actually control the software and firmware updates on this actual device, and then also you can make groups. So if you have multiple light switches or sockets from this company, then you can make them into a group with a group name, and you can use your voice to turn the entire group on or off simultaneously. Really cool. Alright, it's giveaway time. I'll be giving away one of these free Wi-Fi light switches, brand new, to one of my subscribers. All you have to do is subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below, and like the video. Once it reaches 100 likes, I'll be choosing a random subscriber on the channel to win this Wi-Fi smart switch, and I'll be announcing it on the top of this comment section on this specific video, and also on my Twitter at ZanivTech. So make sure you're following my Twitter to find out if you won in the future. And stay tuned for more awesome videos from me. I'll catch you guys in the next one. ZanivTech is out.